Red Bulls at Dragon Con. And
Those
all
are
my
not safe.
volunteers know they are welcome to drink it out of it, but they have to replace it.
Yeah, after the security year where they had too many of those, no more. Are we live yet?
We are live now, yes.
Hi, everybody. I love it when Charles tells me.
Oh,
He said hit the button, I hit the button.
Ward.
He starts and jokes about it, but doesn't like do a countdown or anything.
No.
What?
No
What
count.
are you
It's
down for the space
because
shuttle?
it's a flow. Exactly.
Yes.
Cisca.
Tyra needs a countdown.
There's no space shuttles here. This
Whatever.
is not SpaceX.
Hey, I can't see. You're in charge of the stuff tonight.
I love how
Got
many
it.
women astronauts are coming out. I love it.
That is awesome.
It makes me like giddy happy.
Well, so far I know we're live on Facebook and YouTube is trying, but it won't load. So we're just going to hope we're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube out there watching us, let me know because yet again, Tyra can't tell.
Yeah, last that happened to you last week that you couldn't see if it was on YouTube or not.
Yeah, I don't know why. It hates my guts.
Well, according to this side, there's a little green check mark, so we are
Awesome. We're going to hope. I know that we're on Twitch and Facebook.
Oh God, it's not again.
We just fake it around here. Let's just be honest.
Well, this is Be Awesome Together.
And we are
Tyra,
awesome.
Everybody's awesome here, and we're fortunate to have Cisca.
Cisca.
Okay, now I'm going to say like Cisco and Tasca.
Cisca. Like the villain from Star Trek Voyager.
Like Sanka.
Cisca.
So any thoughts I had of a collaboration with the fantasy track have gone out the door now. Thanks, Charles.
No, I haven't. I have a high tolerance, and I'm just going to correct you.
Oh, you need a hard tolerance.
That's the drinking game. Every time I say it wrong and you correct me, everybody takes a shot, and then we're happy by the end, right? We're all friends.
I mean, as long as you don't say the word app.
Saska. I'm trying. This time I'm trying. What did I say? I said that. Saska.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, I'm Hispanic, but I'm also like half Scottish, so because we have to follow in a difficult tradition. We don't always look like we spell.
You know, it's America. It's all difficult.
I'm a mutt, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I'm a very white-skinned mutt, but I mean, I burn. You show me the sun, it's like, whoo, okay.
I burn and I go back to being pasty pale.
Oh, yeah, pasty pale girls unite.
So we are just going to have a random conversation tonight, and we're down for it. Saska is director of the fantasy track at Dragon Con. And this is the first real good interaction we've had, and I'm loving it so far. It's great. So Tyra, since I get us in trouble, I will let you be the adult in the situation.
Oh, God,
we are in trouble. So we have been wanting to bring track directors on from other tracks to find out what they're doing. And Cisca is the fantasy lit track director at Dragon Con. And she has an awesome story on how she took over the track with 80 days?
80 days. Yep.
80 days before con.
That was 6 years ago. So obviously I haven't quit yet.
You're still hanging in there.
What that was 6 years ago. Was that 2018?
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay.
It was an adventure.
Absolutely. Oh, and I want to say hi to Kaz, because Kaz is one of our volunteers on the track, and she has joined us on Twitch.
Wonderful. I love my volunteers. I don't know about you guys in your track, but my volunteers are kind of like family, and I'm so excited because we get 2 more this year. And my volunteers do threaten me every year. I'm like, we should put your bios up. They're like, no. But I love you guys, and you guys are awesome. No.
I'm making mine. Let me do social post. Kaz, have you filled out the form?
I actually will do like when I know their birthdays are, and I'm like, happy birthday on. Like, would you stop?
Like, what are they gonna say? You know,
they pretty much just endure me.
Yeah, I mean that's what they're supposed to do.
Most of them have known me for close to 10 years. So, because some of them knew me when I was a volunteer before I joined the Army, and then one of them is somebody I served with, who I dragged into doing this because I was like, I need help. 80 days, you're coming with me. So, and then one of them is his girlfriend, and so she's just stuck.
Yeah, no.
You know,
I know.
So, what was your introduction to Dragon Con? Just as an attendee? Did you start as a volunteer? How'd you get
I
into Dragon Con?
actually came in the first year. There was the parade. Was my first year, and I was in the first parade. I got dragged into it. I went. I think I was a freshman in college, and I was just a regular attendee. But I got kind of hooked in very early on, and was helping in the then Worlds of Anne McCaffrey track, even though it was not under Anna Smith, even though I was not an official volunteer, because volunteer slots are very few and far between for tracks. And so I was still helping. There you go. That was my first year. So I was in the first several parades, actually. In the first parade, there were more people in the parade than there were watching the parade.
It's true. I drove a truck in the parade one year.
Yeah, sure. What kind of truck?
Honestly fun.
My friends. I don't know.
Perfect answer.
So,
thanks.
But that was my introduction to Dragon Con. I kind of knew what it was because I grew up in the greater Atlanta area, but I hadn't ever actually been until I went with a friend of mine from college who she had been going for years and with her family. So they kind of hijacked me and took me. And I like to blame them every year.
Seems reasonable.
I'm like, this is not your fault. So her aunt passed away a year or so ago from cancer, and she had been a volunteer. And last time I saw her, she was like, I will gladly take the blame for you. Like, I don't know all of what I've done, but good.
So are you ready?
For what?
That thing.
It's like 40 days till Dragon Con.
Shut up. It's not 40 days. I know that.
You're right. It's like 22.
No.
Shut up. You're mean.
I don't like him anymore.
I mean, we load in tomorrow, right?
We have 35 days. We have only 35 days. What the hell?
This is where Charles is very glad this is all straight.
Oh my gosh. I'm not ready.
So yeah, no, it's a few days. more than I want, less than I want, and more than none.
That is
Truth.
True. I can math.
You better. You're a STEM girl.
Shh.
Oh, sorry.
I did that. I was horrible to a set of guests for years, and they'd be like, "I'm like, I don't know, I don't math." And one time, this one author and publisher, he took our entire department. He's like explaining to me how to calculate a tip.
Because you kept saying you don't math?
I'm like, I don't know math. I do fantasy. I don't do math. I do magic. I don't do math.
You brought that on yourself.
Oh, no. We were all laughing when he found out why, like a year and a half later. He comes up to me and he's like, "That's not funny. You made me look like a mansplaining jerk." And I'm like, "But you were so cute and so honest and earnest."
You really wanted me to know.
And just everybody was like, "He really has no clue." I have 2 science degrees. I know how to math. When I don't, I just choose not to.
She knows how to math better than anybody on this panel right now.
Yeah, I've heard there's 2 kind of people in the world. No, there's 3 kind of people in the world. I'll get it right. There's 3 kind of people in the world: those who can math and those who can't.
Being a statistician means never having to say you're 100% certain.
That's true.
See?
So where are we right now? Is this what?
I'm not in charge of this. I'm the guest.
You think we're prepared?
I never said you were prepared. I just said I was in charge.
Okay, so Tyra lit that fire.
You light the next one.
The 80 days. I want to hear how you went around the world in 80 days as a the first time Dragon Con director.
Oh, guys. Okay. So
in a Rachel and Mandy approved way.
No, really? Well, like Faye and Regina aren't watching and counting all the things Cisca does wrong. Oh, that doesn't sound paranoid, does it?
No, not at all.
Um,
If you did things wrong, you still wouldn't be doing it.
you know what? Or I would, but I do it right enough.
You know,
That's it.
I think
But
it was.
the previous track director stepped away for many reasons, and those reasons are beside the point.
Right. Absolutely.
I came in and I was actually, so the first time I went to a meeting for Dragon Con, volunteer or otherwise, and I'd been a volunteer for years, but I'd always been busy and hadn't made it to volunteer meetings. Well, okay, so I volunteered for years, took time off because, I went and did the army thing, made unfortunate decisions and had adventures. So came back.
That sounds like a great T-shirt, by the way. Made unfortunate decisions and had adventures.
Came back. Ended up. Sue Phillips had asked that I come back to volunteer as a assistant or just regular volunteer in sci-fi literature, and then I ended up with a phone call one day from Belle Fawcett going, "Hey, what are you doing on this date?" I don't know. That's like a month away. Belle, why? I need you to go to a meeting and just take some notes for me.
Famous last words.
Okay. So that's what I did. So I went to a meeting, and then Regina pulls me aside and starts talking to me about the heritage of fantasy literature. And I'm like, what's going on?
Oh, you were getting snookered.
Oh, yeah, no, everybody knew more about what I was going on. I did. And so, because like Regina had actually been, when I had started as a volunteer, I was a volunteer in the Worlds of Anne McCaffrey track. And so, which eventually became the fantasy literature track.
Right.
So Regina had also been a volunteer in that same department and a director of that department. So for her, there was like a passing of the torch moment.
Yeah, I got
which,
you.
because I'm an idiot, I did not. I understood, but I really didn't know exactly why I was being handed something. So, because that's how Dragon Con sometimes works. And then I think a month or two went by, and I get this, "Why haven't you answered your email?" phone call from Regina. And I'm like, what? I'm at the pool? I knew I could be expecting an email, maybe. And so it was an email from then the director of fan tracks, Dave Gordon, saying, "Hey, we'd like to extend you the invitation to be the Dragon Con track director for fantasy literature." Cool.
Oh.
How what?
What does this mean?
And I had like a 2-hour, maybe 3-hour conversation with Regina in a Chick-fil-A later that week about how to paddle and some pointers and then a whole bunch of it's so funny because people think that there is a manual.
Right? There is. No, the cake is a lie.
There are freaking 12 pages. I printed them all out, came in with them because I am that dork. Annotated, highlighted, and annotated. 12 pages. That was all there was. And most of them were how to access a database that we don't use anymore.
Right.
Okay,
right.
So wait a minute. You guys are not putting together like manuals? Like, here's how I...
I wasn't. I'm just saying that's what I got given.
Okay. Somebody did. Charles, have you done this?
System, no. What I have offered to do is training videos, but we're getting around to it because it's been busy for the last 8 years. But so here's the path that DragonCon set, right? It is very much a journeyman path, an apprentice path, if you will. There's a director who learned under another director, blah, blah. And sometimes you figure yourself out.
Except I didn't get that.
Neither did I. Neither did I.
The unguided missile that people forgot they're like, this is a guided missile, and then went, shit, we sent the wrong missile.
It'll be fine.
Unguided one.
So and neither did I, Cisca. Saska.
Send him how you phonetically sent it to me, because that solved all my
That
problems.
will help. Yes. Yeah.
I'm not saying it will help Charles, but we'll hope.
We'll try. But the design is you have a seasoned veteran director and you have a second, and the second is the person who is first in line. You take over, so they've been kind of trained as you go. So while they'll be learning some of the nuances, it's not all new. So it's not
Like
supposed to walk in from the outside. Especially
if you walk up to my second, David, he will go, "Do you know?" And he'll go, "No." It doesn't matter if I've told him how to do it. No.
Yeah.
Because he does not want the job.
That's actually the same in all of my department. Nobody wants to learn the database. That's okay.
I actually had him go. So this past weekend was a good friend of mine's birthday party. Saturday is normally the 20th. Right around there is normally when we have the great lockout.
Yes.
And I always put the great lockout is happening. Your track directors, we're neurotic right now. Things like that. I didn't do as many of those this past day because I was at wineries and LJ and with my friend, and my track second was editing.
Good times.
So they just kind of locked out?
No. Well, I mean, I did come home and finish doing things because otherwise Regina would kill me.
So my introduction to Regina,
that wasn't how I got introduced to Regina. I got introduced to her years before that. I just didn't know she was this director of operations until that day.
Oh yeah, no, I'd never met her until Brian Dunaway was the previous director, and he lived in North Carolina, and he had asked me if I'd take over. And at the point in time in my life, I was like, no, I cannot run anything that I'm not getting paid for. I'm really building my digital media career and doing all this stuff. And when you say building digital media career, you're meaning you're spending lots of money to go do stuff for people. Yeah.
I did 5 years of podcasting. It's a lot.
Yeah. So I was like, no, I can't do that. So, well, okay, it's kind of similar. Well, they're doing a meeting on this day. Since you're local, can you go up there for me? And it was the year that the Hilton, 2017. It was the year that Hilton had redone the Gallerias, and we were all the tracks are being moved to that where we're getting a walkthrough. And I walk up, and Regina, she was, I don't know at the time because this is my memory, right? I know her now, and I know how to read her now, but then I didn't even know who she was. And she comes up, and that Regina stares like, "Hey, who are you?" I'm like, I'm Charles. I'm with the podcast track. She's like, "Is Brian coming?" I'm like, I don't think so. She goes, "All right, you're walking through." I'm like, okay, so and you need to talk to Garrett over here because he's got somebody he's trying to get on. I'm like, Garrett, who? I'm like, Ensign Kim. What do you mean I gotta talk to Ensign Kim? What is going on? And that was my whole introduction to everything. And then basically, Brian showed me the database. That we don't use that one anymore.
My introduction to Regina involved a lot more booze.
I had zero booze, no lubrication at all.
No. I didn't think Regina was drinking. I didn't even say I was drinking. But booze was involved.
Yeah, neither one of us had anything.
I met Regina at LibertyCon.
Okay, that's something 10 years ago.
Give me a pin. I've been apparently been a volunteer with LibertyCon for 10 years. So I met Regina at LibertyCon, and one of the things I was doing at LibertyCon was I help in the hospitality department, which is fun because it's totally different than what I do with DragonCon or with Deep SouthCon. So it's nice. It's good to have some variety, you know? And so booze was involved because LibertyCon has a con suite that has an open bar. But part of being on the open bar crew is you have to check IDs, and you have to be that person that says, I don't care that you're obviously 102 and wearing a cane and have been drinking longer than any of us here have been alive. I still need to see your ID.
Sure.
And you have to be willing to do that. And I have some funny stories from being willing to do that, including one time where I looked at somebody and I went, I don't care whose father-in-law you are. I don't like my own father-in-law. Why do I care who you are?
Dream on.
I was going through I was at the beginning phases of a divorce. So, you know. But yeah, so that's how I met her. Honestly, I didn't think Regina knew who my name until that Dragon Con meeting.
No, Regina knows everybody.
Yeah, no, she does
Regina knows way more than everybody wants Regina to know.
No, 100%.
If you get into trouble, Regina definitely knows more than you want.
I want to say 2019. They re kind of did the structure of the tracks. It was the year that we lost a bunch of space in the America's Mart because they're doing a remodel over there. And
I work in the Hyatt, so it never makes it. And all of that shit doesn't faze me.
Right. Well, I'm in the hill. Well, I was trying to move to the West End at the time, move our track to the West End, and she was
Hyatt's
thinking about it.
we're
in the basement in the Hilton. I've not.
We got barbecue flavor. Thank you.
Yeah, smoke. But they did this announcement of, okay, these tracks are going to answer to this person.
Oh yeah, they put in the track coordinators. That's the
track coordinators. Yeah.
I call them the management because
I was listening for my name or my track name and never got called. So I walked up to her after. I was like, "Did I miss something?" Because I was paying attention. Did podcast? I think we're still podcasting track at the time. Did that not get called? She goes, "Oh no, that's right, buddy. You answer to me." I went, "Yeah, I'm cool with that because now I don't have to go through 3 layers of getting my stuff done. Let's go." And it's been great ever since. Honestly, I love working with Regina. But it was meeting her at first it was scary, but
Regina has a very good 1,000-yard stare, and I say this having dealt with road students.
Yeah.
Do you always make sure to pull your the banners that they give us that put outside our track inside your track every night?
Oh no, we have hazing that will occur. Okay, so here's the thing that's funny when people come up to me and they're like, "Fantasy literature, you guys are always so organized. It's almost like you're military."
We laughed at your.
Oh no, it's funny because all the veterans laugh. My track second served as a Marine, and he was an E7.
Oh my.
Yes. And my self-proclaimed Dragon Con E4, that's what he identifies as.
That is awesome.
Is my friend who I served with, Ray, and he retired during the pandemic as an E6. I think he may have been an E6 promotable, but infantry NCO, senior infantry NCO. So it's always funny because I always just crack up laughing when they say things like military, and I'm like, I don't know.
I'm surprised you don't have military time for
so
your track.
What kind of hazing?
Actually, one of the things I made my track second did last year was proofread my report to Regina because I kept switching between civilian and military time.
Oh, yeah.
Because here's the thing. In my defense, I learned military time at 4 years old.
Oh my,
that's fair.
If you think about it, it's the easiest way to teach lapse time. Because there's 24 hours in a day, so you take whatever it is, you turn it into military time, and then you just do subtraction.
Yep. But what kind of? You said there's hazing.
I'm in first grade. So when I wrote my report, I'm like at 2300 and 11:45.
I'm 50 some odd years old, and I still have trouble with military time.
It's easy. Anything afternoon, you just subtract 12 from it.
I know, but I have to subtract the 12. Like I can't just look at it and go, 16 is 4. I have to think 16 minus 12 is 4.
No.
You see, whereas you look at 16 and you know it's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
30 years paramedics.
See? He gets it because I was an EMT. I was a Army medic.
Oh my Lord. Okay. That. You two will be trading war stories.
Get along so well.
Well, okay. Army medic is either Band-Aid station or U.S. paramedic. There's no in between.
Yeah, no. Well, actually,
combat medic. Combat medics are
after after Operation Iraqi Freedom started and 9/11, they actually found they were too short on both the right kinds of medics, so they cross-trained it and they made it. Instead of it was like 91 series something was a line medic. Now they're all the same. They're all 68 whiskeys. So you learn both skills.
Gotcha. Yeah, because that's one of the side note, that's one of the horriblenesses of our industry is if you're a 68 whiskey in the military, you do paramedic level stuff, and then you come back to the United States and they bump you down their stateside, if you will.
Yeah.
And they bump you down to the most basic
For a
level.
while, they were talking about making an EMTM certification.
Like military, EMT military, is that what?
Yeah, no, exactly that. EMTM would be like if you were 68 whiskey trained, which means you're an EMTB certified. You've passed the EMTB test, right? But you've learned intermediate
so much paramedic
skills, but you don't have the full set of paramedic skills either. So,
I mean, I think it's necessary, but
I think it would be a lot easier and cleaner.
I'm so confused, but I like whiskey.
Yeah, so do I. We all.
I have a big bottle of Writer's Tears.
Ooh.
So Tyra, you keep changing your tag. Now your tag's not like whiskey. What? Okay, get us back on track, Tyra. What questions do you have?
So I know that the Fantasy Lit Track has really tried to expand its nighttime programming, and you have 2 major events during Dragon Con, which are awesome. One on Thursday night.
I actually have more.
You have more. How dare you?
I know. I got surprised.
Let's start with Thursday and work our way through what you're doing. So what happens Thursday night?
So Thursday night, we have Page the Stage, which is amazing. It's a construction-based costume contest focusing on representations of cosplay from
Bob the Builder
print media. So, and we're very open about print media because I am not a judgy, mean person. It is, and like, because we had a lot of discussion. Vera Rose helps runs the costume contest because she has the background for it and she's amazing. So we do. Part of it was figuring out what we wanted to define print media as.
Right.
We had a lot of discussions. So it's print media is if it's a manga, if it's a comic, if it's a novel, we do include web comics. We do include rule books and things like that. We also include things like the media representation of it. So say you wanted to come in as I'm blanking on the gentleman's name who is in Shadow of Bones, who played a lot, or if you wanted to be a character from Shadow of Bones, but you wanted to be the screen representation of it, we still count that.
Okay, because it was inspired by a book.
Yeah, no, it's inspired by, and it's in construction based. And we have, so the first year was phenomenal. And we had some amazing contestants. And then we introduced the next year, the Invitational, which has people from all over the world who have some of them, and they've applied to be part of it, or some people were nominated by their own fans.
Nice.
To get invitations from us. And then they have a list, like a challenge. So it's part invitation, part challenge. And that makes it really one of a kind. We're the only costume contest that has that dynamic there. And Podium Publishing, which does a lot of, they're really known for their audiobooks. They've gotten into some print media lately. They are our sponsors for it, and they're phenomenal people to work with. But they come through, we put together a list, and it's indie people, indie classic, media representation. So like Dune was on the list. The dress, the wedding dress from Catching Fire that changes.
Ooh.
We've also had things like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Girl Genius Comics on the list. So we always have a George Lopez character on the list because George Lopez was part of the original Page to Stage. And he was not just a phenomenal human being, but he was a pillar in comics.
So, you know, that's 100% true.
Carry forward our legacy in literature and our history and fandom into this contest every year.
So it's not just fantasy.
It's not just fantasy. We have science fiction. We have everything. I love fantasy. Obviously, I'm the Fantasy Lit Track Director, so I'm a little biased, but I love all literature. So
we like to read.
Yeah, so that's our Thursday night, and that is a phenomenal thing. It's a family-friendly show. Definitely come and enjoy it. You'll see one-of-a-kind characters. We had a Sailor Pluto who won one year. Amazing drag queen who won.
We love drag queens.
Oh, yes, I know. It's amazing. And then we have Friday night, we have the Fantasy Gather, which is best book party at con.
Hands down.
But I'm biased once again.
Well, how many book parties are at the con?
I don't know. Not enough.
There's nothing like like this
like
one.
that.
Because you can go and you mingle with authors and they have their stuff there for sale, but there's a lot of conversation and a lot of, oh yeah, you would like this, or I really enjoyed it. We did it last year, came to it and had a blast.
I love it. We have so many people, and I would show you pictures, except then the fire marshal would come find me.
Oh yeah, no, it was complete. We had so much room. We could move around easily.
I really don't want him to come find me.
Hopefully they got you a slightly bigger room.
Actually, they got me twice the room.
Oh, that's
Literally.
good. You needed twice the room. It was.
I'm so excited.
It was a small room.
We now take over all of International North Floor.
Oh, that's awesome. So I have no idea what's going on our track, but
they can't change it.
I'll be dropping by because I love that.
So, but it is fun and it is wonderful. Authors get to mingle and meet with other authors.
Yep.
I have seen publishers talk to authors and kind of scout the talent, so to speak, in the room. But fans come in. It is open to anybody. We do allow the authors who are attending, professionals and guests of the convention, to sell books at the convention. They just got to let me know so I make sure I have table space for them.
Yeah.
And but literally in the descriptor it reads, so many authors, there's no room in the app. And that is very true. We had 60 authors last year and we're shaping up to have as many, if not more.
It was a little crowded.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was a little crowded. Yeah. I'm told that Mandy and Rachel's eyes got really big and really freaked out.
Yeah, no, it was fine. No, it was perfectly fine.
It was fine.
Everything's fine here.
I may have had the room chanting in front of a board member that we need more room.
Well, it worked.
We need
to get her on us needing more space.
So, but it was a lot of fun, and
everybody needs more space.
We enjoy it. So that's Friday night. So it's kind of like we dress you up, we take you to a party. And then we have the fantasy dating game on Friday night. So it
scares me.
You should totally do it. You need to get up the nerve and do it. You'd have so much fun on it. So the fantasy dating game is where authors get to role play their characters on the dating show.
I could role play the dog. There's a dog. Well, he's a wolf. I could role play the wolf in my book.
Donut last year, so I mean, it's not been undone.
I'm not putting on a furry costume. No offense to furries, they're lovely people, but I'm curvy enough without it.
Furries led the way the other month.
I have no doubt.
But so sorry, there was a frozen cherry in my drink.
It's okay. We're not going to ask if it was doused with alcohol.
It was not. It was doused with club soda.
I'm somewhat disappointed. Anyway.
I got in trouble years ago for that. I was drinking an IBC root beer in Dragon Con social media freaked out thinking that I was drinking a beer. And next thing I know, I'm at a meeting and Regina's calling me over and I'm getting stink eye. Mm-hmm. And I really wish for all the stink eye I got that it had alcohol in it. Like, I wasn't even drinking. It was an IBC root. It looked like beer.
I got in trouble one year. Some things happened. Security got involved. It got to Pat Henry. Well, okay, I didn't do it. It was one of our guests threw something from the stage they weren't supposed to throw. They threw it at me as a joke.
To be thrown from the stage.
Exactly. There was some alcohol involved, and anyway, the person. It wasn't as big a deal as it sounds, but that person tried to make it a big deal. So it did go to security. They did file, there's a complaint. And anyway, I got a nice 45-minute phone call from Regina a week or two after the con. And we talked and we walked through all the details, everything. She educated me on what I could do better. But here's the takeaway. She said, Pat Henry always says, we all make mistakes, but it's up to us to strive to make different mistakes. I love it. I will never make that mistake again. I promise you.
I feel like that is something I tell my child.
That is awesome.
You're going to make mistakes, but you're going to have interesting stories, and I hope you don't make my mistakes. Go make your own.
Yeah.
And don't make the same mistake twice.
Yeah. That's
I used
it.
to tell my brother, learn from my mistakes so you can make other ones that are more interesting.
And just don't get arrested. That's,
I thought that was a given.
well, sometimes you need to say it.
Well, if you ever get a chance to hang out and talk to Dan Carroll, it's inevitable that within about 5-10 minutes, some story's going to come up with, well, the second time I almost punched somebody in the face. Well, man, how many punching in the face stories do you have? Well, then they're almost. I never punched anybody in the face. Okay.
Well, I mean, I love Dan, but Dan is not a big man.
But man, he's got spirit.
Man,
No, he does
is.
have spirit. He absolutely has spirit. And
he's great.
sometimes a walking cane, which can be used as spirit.
So Friday night,
What are we on?
Thursday, we did Friday, we did Saturday. So Sunday is a double header.
I know it. Wait, Charles does not know about this one.
No, you don't know about the first one. So should I go in chronological order or the one that's going to make him blush the most?
Oh, let's build up to the blush.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so we have the Lit RPG Extravaganza in International North and South
Woo.
which is going to be a party and with a silent auction for the
that's fun.
Foundation, which is the Arthritis Foundation, correct?
Yes,
The Georgia chapter of the Arthritis Foundation.
I'm very excited about this.
So we'll have a silent auction. We're going to have a lit RPG party. We're going to have some fun activities to do there. Maybe a quest or two for those who really like their RPGs.
I love Quest.
Yes, I know. It's going to be so much fun. And then we have Boinking Beasties.
What are we talking about here? What is going on? I'm sure
Exactly
that's a
what you
10 o'clock
think.
Party.
I mean, what do you think it is, Charles?
Yeah. Charles, if you heard the word Boinking Beasties as a panel, what would you think it was about?
What time does it start?
10.
Okay, I think it's exactly.
Any earlier than that?
Is it like fictional collisions?
This is fantasy
of
literature and Boinking Beasties. What do you think it is?
exactly what it sounds like?
Which is
Tons of fun.
Tinkerbell.
Why don't you tell us what it is?
Well, it's what dragons do at night with each other when they want to make little dragons.
The official, or not make middle, practice does make perfect.
Yes, no, that's true. And also practice safe boinking.
Yes. Don't bring home anything you can't wash off.
That's right.
I think we're going to break Charles. He's not used to this.
I am not. We're a reality-based track at General Media.
Yeah, but I mean, let's face it.
We have a
Most people,
spicier
when
side
they
of
hear
things.
literature, they're
Right.
hearing big glasses, dowdy librarian, or their English teacher. Have I given you any of those vibes? Okay,
That's
except
Tyra.
maybe unless you had Miss Claire, who was obsessed with Supernatural. Wait, what?
That's Tyra, not you.
I don't know to be insulted or happy.
I don't know. Maybe you need to go to the English department.
They won't have me.
Well, we know they won't have me. I make too many typos.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't spell.
Spellings for those who are not.
I mean, I write my own stuff. AI does not, but there might be an AI that checks my spelling.
I have been informed now on multiple platforms, both Facebook as well as in online gaming, that I am very distinctive.
Good times.
Along with breaking translators because of how I misspell things.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
Yep.
And my favorite word is boinking, but with a different letter starting it.
So, Boinking Beasties literally reads as a descriptor. Not all things that go boink that make noise in the night are monsters going about their nefarious deeds.
I get it.
We have to get baby unicorn somehow.
Okay.
I mean, we've had discussions of Bad Dragon as well as Alpha and Omega. It's time.
Think about all the shape-shifting fiction.
I don't have to think about it. I've been doing this panel for years.
I just read it. I don't know anything. Anyway.
I don't know anything. I just read it. Or host it.
Yeah.
DragonCon is a very inclusive and safe place for everybody.
It is a very
True.
inclusive and safe place, actually.
I
We endeavor to make sure that, and we do put a disclaimer on here on the top of it, that we are only talking about consensual activities.
And we have a few panels on those lines. We have the spicier side of digital media, which is something to do with friends and solo friends.
What I want to know is where book talk and motorcycle talk seem to have overlapped all of a sudden in the last week.
I don't know about that overlap. That's interesting.
No.
Motorcycle talk and book talk have overlapped.
It's like a whole bunch of motorcycle guys talking book talk and going, "Hey girls, we're here," and I'm like,
Interesting.
"But you're not in the library, so I don't know."
Well, they're checking out their books electronically.
I mean, I'll check them out non-electronically if they want.
Okay, if you'd like to put in an application to date Cisca, please let us know at the Digital Media Track. We will be accepting them, and I will be vetting them. And then you have to get by Charles.
Oh, Charles, are you trying to protect me or just censor everything?
I just got voluntold about this position. I don't know.
Hey, I
just do whatever Tinkered
You
Bell
got
tells me to.
voluntold. I got sacrificed.
Yeah. Offered for sacrifice, really.
I mean,
That is an honor. I mean, if you really think
I'm
about it,
willing to take it. We'll see how it goes, right?
It'll be fine.
it'll be good. What's funny is how two worlds collide sometimes. I do not know what track this panel belonged to, but there was a track that had a panel for many years that was a BDSM panel.
Oh, no,
basically.
that's EFF.
Is that EFF? Okay. But here's the story.
And I know it, too.
So, well,
He seems
here's
very
where-
eager about
It's
that.
because one of my friends used to do the one if the cop pulls you over and you got stuff in your trunk.
Well,
Andrew Greenberg.
okay, I'm not going to tell the gate guard stories tonight.
Well, I can tell you this one. So that track was coming in after this other show that we did in the Crystal Ballroom, and it was a year that House of the Dragons, the sequel, Fire and Ice, Song of the Dragon. What?
No. It was Song of Fire and Ice, House of the Dragons. Is a
Thank
sequel
you.
to
Yeah,
the-
that. Well, yeah, I'm confused. I'm sorry.
He's with us now.
It's
That's adorable.
so, but it was the season that they did the shame, right? So there's this big show. They did their thing and they were referencing all of that stuff. So at the end, they were kind of mocking the panelists on purpose. I mean, it's all a big joke. We're all in it together. And then what we're all piling out, 200 people, 300 people piling out of Crystal Ballroom going, shame. And the first wave walks out and sees this panel lined up and they start turning around, stop saying shame. And it was just, and everybody in line is just rolling, laughing because it's like, shame, no, stop. And yeah, because it was like, no, we're not shaming you. It's not, it was a joke. It was about that. I just sat back as director and was like, only at Dragon Con can you have this kind of craziness happen?
I mean,
Yes.
I do love Dragon Con. So,
And by craziness, I just mean the mashing of the two worlds.
Yes.
That's the craziness.
by the way, Tyra, you will love it. I did put as our last panel the morning after on Monday.
Oh, yay.
Wait for it. In true Dragon Con fashion, it's the morning after at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, yes.
That's-
That is when all morning after parties should be.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
I'm on 10 a.m. panels 2 days in a row. I'm like, does
I
Charles
have
hate me?
10 a.m. panels, I think, every day.
Charles hates me.
I don't hate you. It's just what I had.
I know,
She's
it's okay.
Amazing.
I know I created her.
What? Who are we talking? Are we talking about
I'm
me?
pretty sure her parents had something to do with that.
Oh no, there was a dare in a hotel room and out of town, and that's how I got here, people. My dad was a wizard. He just wasn't the wizard my mom thought he was.
Don't you have some more questions to ask her?
He was like, please save me.
I've been asking all the questions, Charles.
I don't know what's wrong with Charles. He's like, hi.
So what
Hey,
has
monkey?
so out of all the years you've been doing this, being the track director and creating panels, what has been the most surprising panel outside of Boinking Beasties that you were like, I don't know if this is going to work, and it was great? And then I'll tell you my favorite panel that I was on your track.
I would say the panel that took the longest actually to put together well
Okay.
was the pun panel, because it is a very special and unique panel. Mira Rose runs it because she has this amazing stage presence as well as the ability to talk about puns in a very educated but fun manner. And it was the first year I was like, I really want to do this panel on puns. And I had this idea, like you could put people on there like David Weber and Chuck Gannon, and they can pun until people like jokingly, because somebody apparently went put in like feedback, they thought I was serious about this, pay to escape, like a lock-in. A panel of puns, and I was going to put like jars with people's names on them, and like if the person who got the most donation would have gotten a trophy at the end, like I'm paying to escape this person type thing. But it never really worked out and solidified. Actually, in 2018 is when I had the idea, and Regina literally looked at me and she goes, I will not go to that panel. I mean, she was very polite. She was very nice. David would love it. I'm not going to that panel though.
Yeah. Not every panel's for everybody.
So, but I mean, that's the thing that's beautiful about Dragon Con, right? Is that there is something to do, regardless of whether or not it's what your cup of tea is. You can find something that is your cup of tea at Dragon Con for every hour of the day.
Yeah.
It really is. I'm sorry if this isn't right for you. Go pick one of the other 50,000 things that's happening this hour of the day.
Or go watch some anime. I mean,
that's one of the 50-hour things. So there is that variety, and I love it. So I think that was probably the thing that took me the longest time to bring to fruition and figure out how to make it work. So, or there's Beach to Stage, which I never thought I'd be running a costume contest. My volunteers were actually the ones who requested it.
That's awesome.
And they got what they wanted.
I run one for Kennesaw for Alcon. And yeah, running a costume contest was not something I ever thought I would be doing. And Charles often comes by and MCs with me, and we have a good time. And he guest judged this last time. So on his list of achievements is judged a costume contest.
Ooh.
Had no idea what I was doing.
You really need to bring me in to help with OwlCon.
Yeah, you should
because
come.
I'm a KSU alum.
That's true. Well, when we start up in the fall, I'll say I got someone.
Are all KSU alums as aggressive as you two?
I'm not a KSU alumni.
The best ones.
That's right. You went to Georgia Tech.
I went
then
to Tech.
Downgraded to teach at KSU. Gotcha.
And then
there's nothing downgrading. It's one of the
different
two programs in the state.
That's right. And I was a Panther before that.
There's a 3-letter word in the middle of my fingers, and you can read it.
Ooh, I like that one.
So, yeah, no.
Charles, you're not winning friends and influencing people correctly tonight.
I think I'm pretty staying on brand for that. I think I'm on brand.
This is true.
It's all okay. I get it. So not everybody likes owls, and that's fine.
I love going to Kennesaw State.
No, he comes up to
draft pick. Took less time than Georgia Tech did to get their first NFL pick.
Well, that's true, but
see, I can talk a little bit of smack.
There you go.
I did love teaching Georgia Tech football players, though.
I would ask this: what's one of your favorite personal memories and or experiences at Dragon Con?
1 second, you roboed on part of that. So what?
What's one of your favorite personal experiences or memories at Dragon Con?
Oh God, there's so many. There really are a lot.
I know it's hard.
Pick like, do you want funny or
yeah, let's go funny.
I think funny is the.
Okay, so Lou Gossett Jr. came to Dragon Con, right? In 2021? Yeah, 2021. Lou Gossett Jr. is a wonderful gentleman, a little older.
Yeah.
And so he's in a wheelchair. and they are trying to figure out how to get him off. Well, there were a couple
Oh
things.
yeah.
So he came in and Jarvis on Diversity Track. They were doing a wonderful panel.
Jarvis is awesome.
Being kind of like a multimedia personality. And the biggest thing, and honestly, I sat through the panel because I wanted to make sure everything went smoothly. Because Jarvis's track second came running up to me, and Jarvis is an incredibly talented person, and his department is amazing. But she was new, and it's new, especially when you can't find your director, because for varying reasons he wasn't there that day. And so she comes up to me and she goes, he wants sweet tea. And I'm like, okay, then get him sweet tea.
Right.
She didn't know how to get him sweet tea. Oh, Lord. And so DragonCon actually does have a department that handles people like Lou Gossett Jr., really amazing people. They didn't have a person because 2021, we were running very short-staffed.
Year after the pandemic, so yes.
So I did what every DragonCon director and every soldier does, which is I figured out a way to the solution.
Right. Like,
so I go up
and a restaurant.
Check out the cafe, the little shopette thing that they have. There's no sweet tea. So I go to the bar, I get sweet tea. I get 2 sweet teas because if I'm going to have to wait in line, I'm going to get 2 sweet teas.
Yeah.
So admittedly, I did look at them and go, hey, I'm a DragonCon director and I need something right now. So I pulled the badge because it worked for me that I pulled the badge. I pulled the badge for Lou Gossett Jr. and I will always stand by that as the right decision.
No, that's absolutely the right decision.
I didn't realize our badges got us anything like that.
They may not work for you, Charles, but
I've never pulled a badge. I've never pulled a badge. Don't make me feel like explaining.
Charles,
you're a bartender and go, hi, I need your help right now. I'm a DragonCon director. I need your help helping a guest. So I pulled the badge.
She's prettier than you, is what we're saying. Am
I prettier than him? Thank you.
Oh, yes. Charles, you're absolutely handsome, but
I'm a close second. I'll take close second.
He's not bad on the eyes. But that's fine. Keep telling yourself that.
So Lou Gossett Jr., you got sweet teas.
So Lou Gossett Jr. So I bring him his tea. I bring him 2 because I'm not going to wait in line and I'm not going to deal with this entire trek for 1 drink. I'll go for 2. So I go for 2 and the bartender was like, wait, don't you want your change? I'm like, no, keep it. And I go. And I come walking down the panel in the ballroom. And he goes, this is amazing. And he's like, besides the fact that you get women bringing you drinks in the middle of a panel.
Awesome.
So I stayed through it and it was amazing because basically, like, I would say to condense down everything he said in that panel into simple, like, short sentences would be the power of yes, of saying yes to trying something and keeping your mind open about doing things. And that was really the power of his career. The power move of his career is saying, yes, I will do this, but I will still do it. So yes. And, so he ended up talking and everything else. And then at the end of it, there's these big, tall, they look like they could be NFL football player type guys. And they're talking about how to get him off the stage because there's no ramp.
Oh,
right.
And
I've heard this part of the story before.
I have not heard this part.
And I go, guys, just get out of my way. I can just fucking do it. And they look at me and they look down at me, this little white chick. And I look at them and I went, what? I can do it. Get out of my way. So then they decide to do it. They decide to just because
they were not going to be outdone, honey.
Yeah, they were not going to be outdone. They did not know that I was an Army medic, a former Army medic, and that I have absolutely an occupational therapy student, and I have both the background and also the balls to do it.
Oh, yeah. But more importantly, you got them to do it.
More importantly, I got them to do it, which is better. So, and he was amazing, and I still have a picture with it. And he was like, "So, what do you do at DragonCon? That's because I'm certain it's more important than bringing guys drinks."
Aww.
I looked at him and I went, "Nothing is more important than bringing you a drink. You are a guest of our con." Because that is truly
Yeah, no, that's absolutely
the thing
true.
that I love about Dragon Con, and I'm not going to say other cons don't do it, but I don't go to cons outside the Southeast so far, is Dragon Con does bring into embodiment within its culture the spirit of hospitality. That this is my home. I have invited you into, and you will feel hopefully welcome. And if you don't, I want to know, and I want to know how to fix it.
Yeah.
You know, fantasy literature, we have a Keurig on site because authors
Charles,
are well known for not sleeping at night.
we don't have a
Tyra?
Keurig.
And
Instant coffee.
We had brewed coffee in Galleria 7 every morning
This
last
past
year.
time. I will say his wife was amazing and fixed food and had drinks and beverages.
yeah, I'm about ready to start making our snacks. I make
great
mocha Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah, no, I'm freaking coming to get some of those. I'm sorry. That is just sound amazing.
Mine now.
So Tyra,
I
you
have the
want
mocha Rice Krispie treats.
to
we have tried to make Rice Krispie treats in this household, and we've learned that if we want to stay married, we will not be making Rice Krispie treats again. It was not good. I mean, they were good. It was not good.
But you did want to talk about your favorite panel you did on her track.
I think it was on your panel. I think it was on your track. I have confusion because it's Hyatt. I can see the room, but I can't.
Hyatts look this.
I know. So I'm like, was that, because after I said it, I was like, frack a duck. Was that her track or the writing track next door?
I mean, admittedly, we do work I try to work very collaboratively with Nancy.
Nancy's awesome.
Because we are all servicing the same community.
Mm-hmm.
And there are literally guests who come and they basically live on Embassy Hall.
Yeah. Embassy is great.
Because we're what I jokingly call the pure red tracks. We're we're pure literature. I know I'm horrible. Yet they still put up with me.
I mean, I don't.
Right?
I can 100% tell you that there is nothing pure in the digital media track.
I'm not saying there's anything pure in fantasy literature.
Well, that's true. You have boinking beasties and a dating show.
But like we do service. We don't do the multimedia, so like we don't get the actors. We get occasionally some audiobook narrators. I do have an audiobook panels this year. I'm so excited about.
That is exciting.
And but yeah, so we do. On Embassy Hall, you are going to find science fiction literature. You're going to find writer's track. You're going to find fantasy literature. We focus on the print representations of storytelling, not just literature, but of storytelling.
It's true. Well, and it was one of those panels I was on with Kevin J. Anderson. And so that's why I will say this, I loved being on a panel with him because I was the only woman on a panel of all men.
Oh my, that does sound like men.
And no, you know what he was great at? He made them stop so I could speak.
Kevin is really good at narrowing in on the fact that some people, not just because
not just men,
you're a woman among men or any outsider variable, but he's really good at narrowing in on this person isn't talking and they still have something of value to add.
No, he was so specific about it. I loved him for that because it's hard sometimes when you don't fit the narrative to have a voice. And he made sure that, because he knew what I was going to say because I had written notes, and he was like, yeah, no, she needs to speak. And he made sure I got to. And so I totally appreciate that. And I try to remember that when I'm modding panels now, is that trying to make things balance. Always, as Charles and I say, chasing excellence in our moderating.
It can be tricky. And remember, like,
it is.
You asked me on a podcast, like, is there anybody I don't panel? I'm like, I do panel most people. Like, to be honest, you have to really step in it. But the biggest thing is I will make notes. Like, there's some people I'm like, you need to warm them up. I need to go out. I need to have somebody like
chat with them,
feel comfortable and open up their shell a little bit.
Yep.
So, because particularly with authors, they're not all gregarious people.
No, most of us want to be at our typewriters and not
they
talking
like to
you
talk
people.
with the voices that are in their head. Yes. Not the ones that are in their ears.
Yeah, no. I remember when I started doing the podcast for KSU and they told me it was going to be on camera, and I looked at them like, I did not sign up for that.
I remember in 2020, there were some panels where, because of my years of podcasting, like I understood that there's a difference between resting bee face and resting pleasant face.
Yes.
And there were definitely some people when we started doing some of the virtual panels who didn't remember that
Oh, yeah, no.
on visual. And they needed to develop some wrestling pleasant face.
Yeah, my husband has resting angry face, and I mistake it for him being angry, and he's not.
I have varying resting faces, I've been told, and one of them is resting soldier face, which
Oh,
is not
yes.
like resting
Yes.
other face.
Female dog.
Yes, and I
Or
don't.
we could just say bitch. It's okay. Charles
I
hasn't
don't
stopped me from
know.
cursing before.
It's before 10 p.m. and I see the Dragon Con logo, so you know.
Good woman.
I have a trained thing. Regina's going to be very happy to hear that.
Thank you. Because we are actually pitching to make this the official show of Dragon Con next year. So we have to work on our professionalism, Tyra.
Wait, what? What's that? Is that the P? Resting professionalism face?
That's it.
I've been told I have a resting kill you face. Like
Yeah,
I'm
no.
thinking I'm very serious and
He does.
people are like, are you okay?
I've been
What's going
told
on?
that
I'm like,
there's like, I've been told that there's specialist small. There's like director small, which is somewhere between the two of Cisca and I don't, and I go, when I start looking at people, I'm going, hey, and I start talking army, they're like, oh, no. You need a break. And the rest of us need to not be here. I have an amazing volunteer staff. I love them very much. And I could not do what I do without them. And
So how many volunteers do you have working with you this year?
I actually got rewarded. I got 9.
Ooh.
I have a department of 9. So that's 8 volunteers. So 2 more. And I am
same.
Is that what we have?
Yeah.
I was asking for a reason.
I'm very excited. Regina sent me an email and she's like, by the way, you should not be working them so hard. I'm like, I'm trying not to. Thanks for the 2 extra badges. I've only been asking Carol for them for years. So Carol does sit there and go, you need to tell not just me. And I'm like, I don't want to. Regina's scary.
We have the issue we have at the digital media track is everybody's a creator who works with us. So while they do want to see the con, they do want some rest. They want to be there. And we'll be like, no, you don't take 4 panels in a row. Like, but I want to see all 4 panels. And if I'm here, I might as well work the board and record stuff.
Yeah. We end up with, I try to give my volunteers the ability to look at our panels ahead of time for fantasy literature so that they can say, these are the panels I want to be in the room for. Because sometimes our panels get so full that we're not the ones in the room.
Right.
So, and, but I always run it, and maybe I should talk to you. I always run into problems where I want to record as much of the panels, but getting the audio is hard. Trapping
Audio
that
is
audio.
hard.
I got some tricks for you.
He does.
Because I'm totally going to open up your brain and sift them out.
Oh my Lord. I am so sorry.
That sounded like
Hey, I'm not that mean.
that's like
I have a delicate
I
dance.
wasn't
bashing
talking
people.
about you. I was talking about looking at Charles's brain
Oh,
and what's running around in there.
Hey,
I've been inside a soldier's brains and undergrads for years. I'm fine.
Truth.
And gamer brains.
Oh, yes. Gamer boy brains. Love them.
No, I don't love them anymore.
Been there, done that, said no.
Been there, done that, and went, oh, no.
I think mine may have bought the college football game tonight, and that may be what he's doing downstairs right now.
I just returned to sender the last one, so.
Hi, Charles. How are you?
Charles looks totally
I just-
confused.
I'm just riding along. That's all I can do at this point is just keep
Is
up.
this the
That's-
Tyra and Cisca show? And
yeah.
Tyra and Cisca with special guest Charles McFall.
I'll take it. That's how it goes sometimes.
they're going to ask me if I'm trying to take over another track again. The answer is no.
No, I think you and I should team up and really push Tyra to publish more books. and do more media.
Yes, this is true.
Ooh, I have been saying the same thing to her.
It's true.
In fact, she's heading up on my my monthly Tyra, where's your book deadline reminder.
It's true.
But that's fine. I did 5 years of podcasting and I took a break, and now she's going, when are you going to do something? So
That's true.
the nagging can go both ways.
At this time, I've started back on the podcasting track. Geek Meet Social has been fairly consistent, except for when the husband went to the ER. Outside of that, that was fun. We'll talk
That
later.
husband, medical emergencies?
Yeah, I know. With a dog in the back seat. It was awesome.
We just call that jealousy of your fame.
But we're back on track.
Man.
He does everything epically.
Should we call him Mr. Go Big or Go Home?
Oh, yes. I married a 6'4" former O-line high school football player. You know?
I mean,
I knew what I was
that's
getting.
advertised.
DBZ.
No, you don't know it.
What?
I'm short in my family.
Oh, that's right. Well, I'm tall in mine, so it works out.
I'm
I am the
tall in everybody's
That's
family.
screaming, going, I have no idea why she's saying she's short.
Oh, I am. But I am the tallest in my family and women.
Charles, I'm 5'11" and I'm the short person in the small family.
Yeah, my wife's 5'4". I'm 6'7", and my youngest, I think now is 5'4". So it's a very interesting dynamic in the household.
Yeah.
You like short women, don't you?
Don't fish for compliments.
Do you
I'm
find
not fishing for a compliment.
do you
Get back
find
to your
women-
library,
I gotta ask,
Kara.
do you find short women scary?
Oh,
I don't find any woman scary except Regina sometimes.
I got to work on that.
Okay.
Good times.
Why do you want to be found? Look, we've been at this an hour. I don't Are you going to be at the director / volunteer meeting this weekend?
I think I'm supposed to be.
Well, here's a different question. Do you have all the volunteers you need for your
I
track?
do have all the volunteers I need. Unfortunately,
Awesome.
I want more badges so I can have more volunteers.
That
And
seems
Regina's
to.
now rolling her eyes.
Yeah,
I
we
would
need
love.
it.
I would love to
And
know the
Rachel.
formula on how they figure out what level of volunteerism you need.
I know. How many?
know.
So, question: how many events / panels does your track put on? Do you know?
I think we're sitting at 33, maybe 34.
Yeah.
But it's a total of
Lucky.
about 42 to 43 hours of programming.
Yeah, 64 panels / workshops / events on digital media.
You
Yeah,
know,
we're at like 100
that is
hours.
somebody you
programming.
should take that up with your track coordinator / director.
Cisca is part of the Fantasy Lit track at Dragon Con. She is the actual track director, DBZ 9410. Look at me.
So
Answering
let's do some promotions. We can go home.
Yeah, I think Charles has had enough. He can't take
We're
both of
good.
us.
Charles is ready to, he's like, I'm in over my head and I've been treading water for an hour.
I'm just not used to not being the crazy one on my show. I'm the crazy. You two, you brought out something.
That
You
means
brought
I
outside and Tinkerbell over here that I've
I'm the
never
crazy
seen.
one.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Wait, I'm totally confused. Is he talking to Tyra? Because I agree with him if he's talking to Tyra.
What?
I'm talking
What
to
did we
both
say?
of you.
I'm
You're
just
awesome.
feral.
That's
There's that.
true.
So everybody should start seeing the app drop in early August with the schedules go out, and you can look forward to all of our programming. What is-
McFall, you are so wrong.
Why?
Because here's how the programming works. The database closes on the 20th.
Yeah,
Right now,
familiar.
Carol and all the track coordinators are going through, they're proofing everything. They're coming back with emails and going, hey, look, you forgot a moderator. Yes, Carol, I did actually read the email. I have no idea. I'm missing 2 moderators. I'm just not sure who to assign. And then they come back and then sometimes they're like, hey, look, you need to add, can you please add an extra panel because we have some more panelists that need panels.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, the schedule's
They
not
also close the
finalized.
nomination. Here's the thing that you don't know because it doesn't really affect digital media.
Okay.
The Dragon Con Awards nomination process also closed on the same day. They always
yeah.
closed the same day, and I think there's a reason for that. And part of it is because Regina likes only remembering certain dates, and that's okay.
That's fine.
She has enough on her plate. Anything that streamlines part of the process, I'm okay for, as long as it's not negatively affecting me. So we go forward. And then they spend between now, the 20th, and the 1st, proofing everything, conflict checking, making sure, unless we have cloning technology, we can't make people be in multiple places at one time.
Good times.
They're checking that. So then on the 1st, ideally, in a perfect world, on the 1st, everything has been done. And Regina takes all of it and then sends emails to people. And then the guests start confirming, yes, I want to be on this panel. No, I have a panel. No, I have a thing. I'm not actually getting there until Friday. So no, I can't do a panel on Thursday. Things like that. And then we get contacted and we get told, hey, look, this person can't do a panel. You need to fill this slot. And we go forward. This is why the app takes so long to update. So there is no, do not give these people hope that the app is going to be updated before 2 weeks before convention.
Early August, you should start.
It is not fair to them. It is not fair to me. And I will watch as Regina skins you.
You false hoper.
I don't understand this return email thing. I don't get return emails. I don't understand.
That's fine. You don't have to get return emails. I get return emails. And if the author is particularly intelligent, they can email me and they let me know, hey, look, sometimes they come back and they're like, I'd like some more panels, please. And then sometimes Regina messages me, or they message me and I go and I look and see for openings. There's a long-standing joke in my department that we don't know what the actual app and who was on what panel until about a week after the convention.
Yeah.
No, that tracks.
100%.
So no, don't give these people any false hope that the app will be updated any sooner than a week before the convention.
So the best thing you could do is show up and come down to the basement of Hilton and just go to all the digital media tracks all the time.
Why would you go to the basement of the Hilton? The Hyatt is so much better, and you don't even have to go to the basement to have fun.
We have drinks.
But you have to walk all the way up
and
the hill
barbecue
to get there.
I don't. I'm staying at the Ritz. I just walked down the street.
I don't even leave. There was one year I did not leave the Hyatt at all.
Oh my.
I have everything I need. There's a bar, my hotel room, a hotel restaurant, a Starbucks coffee place, and my truck. There's everything I need. I even know the con suite's in there.
That's true. I've never been to the con suite.
It's on the second floor. I'll show you.
Me either. Yeah.
On the second floor. I'll let you find it.
No, I take it back. I think I did go there when Joe was running it once.
So.
I legit thought it was an urban legend for years.
No.
And then I met Joe and I talked to Joe and he's like, no, I ran that. I was like, really? There's a way people whisper.
I've been to the green room. I've been to the bar fly. I've been everywhere.
Yeah.
In the Hyatt.
Joe is awesome, by the way.
Joe is amazing. Joe does my placard every year for the guests. And he helped create the design you love so much.
Yes, it's hanging on my door at work.
Mm-hmm. We do placards for all of our guests.
Charles doesn't do that. He has dry erase boards.
Ew, Charles, gross. What are you?
They don't deliver table tents. I have legit never gotten a set of table tents for my main room ever. And last year, 2 years ago, I can't remember which, I got ownership of a second room. And one time I got table tents for that room. So I make it happen, baby.
We get table tents every year for our main room, our ballrooms that say the Dragon Con logo. And
ballrooms, sure.
Oh no, somewhere one of my volunteers has a video of me looking at them and going, and literally throwing them off the stage and placing the ones we have for fantasy literature now.
I want to find a digital one. I want to find one where we can type in their name or whatever it is, nice and cool looking. And, I haven't found those yet.
Bobby Black Wolf has one hanging around his neck.
Okay, that's that small.
And Dragon Con's not going to pay for them. So.
Let me just tell you, I won't tell you what my budget is, but I raise a nice amount of money every year to make my stuff happen on my track. So,
which reminds me,
every year I have at least one person who asks me what my budget is.
Yeah, no, our budgets are make it happen, but I do. I mean, we make
Our
it happen.
budgets are very akin to how the Army's budgets
Yes.
I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair,
I mean,
they
every
put-
year, my volunteers, the 3 veterans and I, we sit down and we talk about how very similar to the military is. And very similar to the military is an act of devotion and love.
Truth. And Charles, we need to order ribbons and stickers. Anyway.
I know.
And Tyra's heard me describe how I describe track director, how I describe the tracks during the show.
It's true.
We're departments under siege.
Yes.
All right.
So
I mean,
we do
love
have
them. We're not really surrounded by enemies, but
we do have one question as we go out the door. Please ask Cisca for a few confirmed guests she can announce. Is there anybody on your panel this year that you want to tell us about? Or not? We just put her on the spot.
We just have to verify they're on the website. If they're on the website, we can talk about them.
so we have, let's see, there's Tyra Burton, there's Jay Boyce, Jenny Koch, Mel Todd, Doug
Yay, Mel.
Harvey, Todd McCaffrey. Let's see, there's more.
That's a good
Bruce
list. though.
Centaur, there's Shirtaloon, there's Bryce O'Connor, there's Dakota Kraut, there's James Hunter, there's Philip Lagoon. I can go on.
No, you did great. So
I know my guess.
you gave them a tease of what's to come.
We have a ton of fun, great fun. Michael Chatfield is coming this year.
Ooh.
He's missed a couple years because of COVID and being up in Canada. Tao Wong. I can go on. TJ Reynolds. I mean, I can go on. This is off the top of my head, guys. There is no list behind my screen.
We need a list.
I use about 100 different author guests every year.
That's awesome.
I really work to make sure that we have as varied and a diverse a group as possible every year. And I always appreciate it when authors help me help them by like messaging me and texting. Michael J. Allen's coming. I'm super excited that he's coming. So I'm always excited. We have no. Oh God, no. I'm blanking on it. We have Lona and Andrew Gordon.
Are they coming this year?
Yes, they are coming, and I am so excited. So they normally only panel together.
Are they paneling?
They write
separately?
together, so that makes sense, right? But
For those who don't know, they're a nice husband-wife team.
they are amazing, and Gordon is a veteran. And
I did not know that.
I haven't. Yeah, he was Signal Corps, so he's God knows what Fort Gordon did to his brain.
Yeah.
Truth. If you're in the Army, you understand the reverence.
I have friends, so I do.
So we have a veteran rights panel on Saturday about veterans who are writers.
That's wonderful.
And I am super looking forward to that. I kind of have pulled questions from my days on the Blasters and Blades podcast for that, which is a veteran podcast for geekiness.
Right.
But I think we had you on that one, Tyra.
No, I have never been on Blasters.
I can fix that. They're still going. I just have taken a break from it. But then we have Lona on Sunday, I think it is, for a crafting panel on crafting and literature because she's a big knitter. I'm so excited.
I'm
We
excited
have
for you.
Harrison on panels too. See?
Ooh. Okay, so
And I have
Charles is
her on a scientist who ditched the math for magic panel.
Ooh.
I have fun this year.
That's a good thing.
That is what I love about the directors I've interacted with. We all love what we're dealing with and what we're doing on that track at that time.
Oh, I've actually overheard somebody one time say that the fastest way to annoy Cisca is to mess with her authors. I love my authors.
You got to take care of your panelists and moderators. You just do.
There's a wonderful, beautiful community in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely love my authors.
Well, we're glad you do. I'm going to tell Charles that it's now 9:20 something, and we need to be heading on out of here
All
because
right.
though people love us, we've overstayed our welcome.
What are we doing next week, Tyra?
I don't know, Charles.
I don't remember next week, but I do know.
Why don't you ask
You don't
Cisca
remember
where
next-
we can find her? While I
Well,
find that
we
out.
do our announcements, and we let her say the last word. You give the guest the
I
last
mean, next
word.
week hasn't happened yet, so it would
That's
be really hard to remember.
That's what he does. That's not what I do. So next week, what are we on? We are
Actually, I don't
next
know
week.
if we've said it yet.
We have not programmed next week yet. So July 31st will be who the heck knows, but grades are due the next day. That's what that's going to be.
Random shenanigans will occur. Got it.
Yes. Charles, though, on August 7th, tell us what is happening.
I'm very excited. August 7th is a 20-year in the making show. In August of this year, I'll actually be celebrating 20 years as a professional digital media creator. And the guys who gave me my start, Andy and Randy, two guys, one brain, they have retired their podcast many years ago, but they're coming back together to share stories of how they remember me, how rough and young I was when I started doing segments for their show, and just tell different stories and walk down memory lane. So we're going to be celebrating 20 years of digital media creation on August 7th. And
Is it 20 years of digital media creation or 20 years of Charles?
what's the difference? What's the
Because if
difference
it's 20 years of Charles, it would be much more fun to make it a drinking show and do it at 21.
It is.
I mean, you might just on liver.
That is fair. That is fair.
This has been awesome.
This is great. So, Cisca,
Yeah.
Hold it.
Where-
Wait. On August 21st, don't forget to tune in for our preview of Dragon Con from the Digital Media Track. Thank you very much. Now do that.
Cisca, where can we find you on the web?
So I can be found at pagetostage.com, where please register for pre-register because it is a pre-register event for Page to Stage to compete in it. So, and then we also the Page to Stage Facebook group, Page to Stage Facebook page, which because I didn't know what I was doing when I created it, is listed as an athletic competition.
What?
I didn't know what I was doing. And then so there's DC Page to Stage, there's Page to Stage on Facebook, there's the Fantasy Literature at Dragon Con Facebook page, and then I have Cisca Small on Facebook where you can reach me. And for people who are going, but I don't want to harass you, it's your personal page. It's not my personal page. Don't worry about it. It literally is there to help me facilitate and help fandom and authors do their thing.
We must unite.
Yes. And then I am on TikTok as well as Cisca Small. And so I'm somewhere on Discord and I don't remember that handle. I think that handle is also Cisca Small because I'm very creative.
Consistency is good. It builds brand.
Consistency is good. It builds brand. And more importantly, it leaves my brain power to do other things like create track programming and let the authors actually be the creative people who shine.
There we go.
Tyra,
Thank you. Yes.
don't say thank you. Where can we find you?
Oh,
Yeah, where can we find you other than on campus?
Feral Tinkerbell can be found at tyraburton.com, where you can find all sorts of wonderful things. I'm on every social media platform, though some of them I'm more active than others. And Geek Meet Social is my current podcast that you can find on whatever podcast app that you like to use.
I did an interview with you talking about cons, so we can.
That's true, and it's up
all
and available.
there.
So if you didn't get enough of Tyra and Cisca tonight, go listen to that podcast.
Thank you, Cisca, for coming on and hanging out and making this a wonderful experience and having us be awesome together. Everybody, we'll see you all next week.
Be awesome.